Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. So today, as you saw in the title, is going to be my experience with a menstrual cup. Yes, a menstrual cup for your period. It's an alternative to tampons and pads. So I mentioned it on my weekly favorites and so many of you guys wanted more information on it, and a couple of you asked some specific questions, so I will answer those questions at the end if I don't cover it in this video. I do have my notes just because I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to leave anything out. So what I'm going to address first is, what is a menstrual cup? And like I already said, it is an alternative to a tampon or pad. And I'm going to show you mine. Obviously, it's clean, it's been sterilized, etc. But this is what it looks like. It's made of medical grade silicone. They do have, I think, plastic ones, but those are not good for people with a latex allergy, and these are. So it's just basically a cup, and it has this little stem, if you will, at the end of it. A lot of people cut this off if it like comes out. If it hangs out, you can cut it off. But it basically sits up on by where your cervix is, and it catches your blood like in this cup. So that's basically what it is, and then let's talk about some specifics. Why did I choose to switch over to a menstrual cup? And I'm going to tell you just honestly, the real reason is because we had a very, very dear, sweet, very special family friend die of toxic shock syndrome, which is associated with tampons. And I've always been so scared of them. I know some tampons say that you can wear them for like 6 to 8 hours, and I've always been really scared to leave it in any more than like 3 or 4 hours, just because there is that risk of toxic shock syndrome. And there has been 0 known cases of toxic shock syndrome from the menstrual cup, and these have been around for ages, like 50 years or something, you know. And so that is the main reason that I switched, is just because I'm really scared of toxic shock syndrome. And also I didn't realize this, but there is like bleach and toxins in most tampons, and I just don't want that going in my vagina, pretty much. So that is why I switched over personally. But I wanted to talk about some other pros. Maybe I'm going to talk about pros and cons, but some other pros that I have either found out through experience or that other people like. Now, obviously, one of the main things is that it's good for the environment. You use this product for 10 years, the same one. So you're not creating trash in landfills, etc. And that is one of the main reasons a lot of people switch. Also, it does save money, because this little thing here is like $30 to $40 depending on where you get it. I got mine on Amazon, and I got mine in a little kit that I will show you. But it saves money. It's $40 for like 10 years. So as to, I mean, I spend $10 a month on tampons and pads. So, you know, I mean, it's a huge savings. Also, I'm a lazy period girl. I just am. I hate changing my tampon. Like, I just hate it. And this you wear for up to 12 hours. I can wear mine 12 hours, no problem. So I literally wake up in the morning, empty it, which I'll tell you how to empty it in a second. But I wake up in the morning, empty it, reinsert it. No. Empty it, wash it, reinsert it, and then before bed I change it. So I'm literally changing it twice a day, and that's it. And for me, because I'm so lazy, I love that aspect of it. Also, and I thought that this was so bogus, whenever I was researching menstrual cups, I was like, there's no way it's going to make my periods shorter or lighter, but it does. So So my periods usually last 6 to 7 days, and with the menstrual cup they last 4. I'm not really sure the scientific reasoning behind it, but I do know that wearing the cup helps shorten my period. Also, a lot of people say that whenever they wear the cup they have less cramping, and I was like, yeah, right, girl, whatever. But seriously, you do not cramp that much when you have the cup in. Like with tampons, I would cramp so bad, and you don't do that when you have the cup in. Another thing that's good about the cup is tampons are absorbent. So they absorb everything. They absorb the good bacteria, the good moisture, the good, you know, everything down there. And I personally always felt super dry whenever I was using tampons, and this is not absorbent. It just literally catches the blood, so it's not absorbing anything. So your body is still making what it naturally produces. Now, let's talk about some of the cons. The first thing everybody wants to know about is, isn't it messy? And actually, I find that this is less mess than a tampon, because a tampon for me has the string hanging out, and so when you pee or whatever, sometimes it can get on the string even if you hold it or, you know, maneuver it to not get on the string. And that's gross to me. I do not want urine touching my private parts for hours, you know. So there's that. And then when you pull out the string, I don't know, it just seems messy to me. And also, like when you insert the plastic part to put the tampon in, that plastic part gets all bloody, and then you have to throw it away, and then there's blood literally sitting in your trash can. And don't even get me started on pads. The mess with pads is so gross. But this is actually less mess. But I will say, one of the cons is you do have to know your body, and you do have to be okay with touching your own vagina. Whenever I first told my sister that I was using a menstrual cup, she was like, ew. And I was like, nothing ew about my vagina, girl. My vagina's fine. So I personally don't mind touching my vagina. It's just, it's mine, so it doesn't gross me out. I think vaginas are beautiful. They birth babies. You know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me at all. But if you're someone who is kind of squeamish about your own body, or, you know, putting your finger up there or whatever, which you don't really put your finger up there. Let me tell you how you insert it. So when you're looking at this, you're like, girl, how does that fit up you? Which it's way smaller than other things, but it's definitely bigger than a tampon. What you do is you fold it. So there is this, which is called a C-shape fold, which is what I started out doing because it's the size of a tampon. But now I use the push down fold, which you push it down and you insert just like that. And the reason I like this one better is because when you insert it, it pops open way easier than the C fold, and it suctions against your, I guess, your cervix, and so it just stays up in there. But you wear it for 12 hours, so during the day it kind of gets a little bit further up in there, so you can use this to barely like pull on it a little bit. Or what I do is I kind of go up there a little bit more, like insert, let's say this is my vagina. So I insert my hand and kind of squeeze this part of the cup to break the suction, and then it comes out. So you're probably thinking, ew, and then the cup is filled with blood, but you would be amazed how little blood we actually lose. I think 2 tablespoons throughout your whole period, the whole week or whatever. But mine has never been over half full. So I used to think I had a longer period, but apparently or not longer, but heavier period. But I guess I'm kind of normal to light flow. But it doesn't get it very full at all. And what you do is you're sitting on the toilet, obviously, when you empty it. And what I do is I take it out and just dump it into the toilet, so I don't even have to look at it. And then you rinse this out with water, and they have a little wash. You can use any like non you know, paraben free and all that, or whatever, any kind of wash, face face wash with like no perfumes or whatever, but this is the Lunette Feel Better wash, and it takes one little drop and I just rinse it out in the sink with hot water and then reinsert it. It's not a big deal at all. And honestly, this is kind of gross, but you guys know if you're a woman, blood can get kind of like, it's not like when you cut your finger how it just bleeds and it's really liquidy. Period blood does have mucus and clots in it sometimes, etc. So I find that that actually helps because it's so thick and concentrated. When you dump it, it kind of all falls out. So I really never hardly see any blood like on this cup, but I'd go ahead and wash it anyways. And then at the end of your cycle, you want to boil it for 5 minutes just so it's super clean for your next cycle. So you're probably thinking, well, what about when you're in a public restroom and you like need to empty it, which has never happened to me because you only do it first thing in the morning and right before bed, unless you have a heavier period. Now I will say they have two different, usually each company has two different models, the number 1 and the number 2. So if you have a heavier flow or you've birthed a baby vaginally, then you would get the number 2. If you have a lighter flow and you have never had a baby through your vagina, you would get the number 1. So because I know my body and I know that I have a cervix that is lower down, or my cervix is shorter, I got the number 1 just because I was afraid that the number 2 would be too big, and this is perfect for me even though I have had 3 vaginal births. So it might be something that you just guess on and hope you're right, but they do have like size charts and everything on the site. So back to what I was saying, if you're in a public restroom and you just really need to change it, or you feel like you need to change it, or a lot of times when I poop, I want to change it just because it's not like it comes out, but whenever you're pushing to poop, all those muscles down there could cause this to lose the suction, you know, and just not be secure in there. I've never had a leak with this, by the way, overnight, anything. But if you feel like you want to clean it whenever you're out and dump it and put it back in, they have these wipes, which I just keep a thing of 2 in my purse at all times. You can just dump it out and use the toilet paper just to clean the inside and put it back in. It's really not that big of a deal because there's no toxins or no perfumes or no bleach or anything. It's not going to hurt you. It's your own blood, you know. But you can also get these wipes, and you know they're wet of course, and they also flush. So the set I bought on Amazon, which I will link below, it came with the Model 1 cup. It came with a set of wipes, which there's only 10 in here, but I've never used them like I said, so that's not a big deal. It does come with a little pouch for you to put it in, so it's kind of more discreet in your bathroom. And then it also comes with the cleanser. So I mean it's a really good deal, and I'm so glad that I switched to it. What else do I want to tell you guys? I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be for everyone. We are kind of hippies, to be honest. We homeschool. We used cloth diapers. I nurse the babies, but I just like it because it's easier, and I like it because I'm not putting like any kind of toxins inside my vagina. So that's why I like it. Like I said, it has also helped with cramps with me, and I feel like I don't bleed as much. So that's why I like it. Let me go over the questions real quick that you guys had in case I didn't touch on those. So let me grab the question. Okay, one of you guys said that you're afraid that the cup will overflow, and it really won't. Like, you can change it as often as you want. And the first cycle, the first couple of cycles that you use the menstrual cup, you'll want to take it out and kind of see where it's filling up to. That way you know how often to change it. The first time I used it, I took it out and checked it out every like 6 hours, but there was hardly any blood in it. So I think that we think we bleed way more than we actually do. So it won't overflow. I mean, if you know your flow, especially the first couple of days are usually heavier, just change it more often. It's really not that big of a deal. And then the next one says, does the cup leak? And no, it does not leak. It has never leaked on me. The only way I could see it leaking is if you don't like insert it correctly, but it's so easy to insert. So I've never even worn like panty liners whenever I'm using it because it never leaks. Tampons leak more than the cup for sure. Okay, this comment was so funny. She said that somehow she sees her bathroom looking like someone was slayed. That is so funny. It says, what if you need to empty it when you're out and about? Did you notice any difference in the amount of bleeding or cramping? And I already answered that, but it really is not messy like you're thinking, because you don't like pull it out and inspect it. I mean, you can, but when you take it out, you just dump it right into the toilet. Your hand's like already down there, so you just flip it over and it goes into the toilet. It's no big deal. Another thing I wanted to say was somebody wrote, I know that menstrual cups are not for me, but I would love to hear your experience. And I won't say your screen name, but I just want to thank you for all of you guys always being so non-judgmental on my channel, because it is, I mean, it could be for some women and not for some, but we're all making the choice for ourselves, you know, so it's not that big of a deal. So thank you for that. So I guess I covered it all, because all the questions I kind of already touched base on. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned something and found it helpful, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.